Welcome back, farmers. Today we're going to be doing something that's very important if you would like to grow peppers next year from the peppers that you're growing this year. So what I'm getting to is saving pepper seeds. There's quite a few reasons why you might want to save seeds from a pepper that you grew this year. So reason number one is you really like the pepper. This is a really nice jalapeno, and I'll be saving seeds from this jalapeno itself to regrow next year. So the reason that you might want to keep a pepper that you really like and use the seeds from it to grow next year is because peppers, if they do self-pollinate with each other, they will produce the exact same phenotype. So if you do go and pick the biggest and juiciest jalapeno and it is self-pollinated, it will grow exactly the same. It might be a little bit different, but for the most part, you're going to get a nice jalapeno. And that really goes for any pepper. It can be annuums, chinenses, so even habaneros, which take 120, 130 days to produce, will produce the same phenotype if it is self-pollinated. So another reason that you might want to keep seeds is for a cross-pollination experiment. So if you were to go and cross a bell pepper and a jalapeno, which are both annuums, so I need to do a video about all the species eventually, but if you go through and cross a bell pepper and a jalapeno, it will produce viable seeds. Depending on the mother plant, it will produce the exact pepper that it is crossed with. So say I took a father part from a bell pepper plant and pollinated it with a mother jalapeno part on a jalapeno plant, it's still going to produce a jalapeno. But the seeds inside will produce a jalapeno and bell pepper hybrid. And in that second generation where you get the seeds from the jalapeno, there's going to be a lot of variability. So you can grow that plant to full maturity, and there can be some peppers on there that look like jalapenos and vice versa. There can be bell peppers and jalapenos on the same plant. So what you're going to want to do after that, I'll get into breeding peppers in a different video. You're going to want to pick the pepper that you like off of that plant and continue to self-pollinate itself. And that's how you get all these crazy hybrids. That's how the Carolina Reaper started, all these ghost peppers and really cool pepper varieties that just weren't there originally. So the third reason that you might want to keep pepper seeds is because you want to save money. Seeds can get expensive, and if you've already got a variety that you love growing, like I love growing shishitos, I love growing jalapenos, you might just want to take the seeds from them so you don't have to keep rebuying the seed packets every year. Because after years and years of growing them, that'll add up. It might not seem like much in the moment, but if you just keep the seeds, you're not paying anything. So I've been talking about the benefits of it, but let's actually get into saving the seeds. So our first step is cutting open the pepper and getting the seeds out, which is really simple. A lot of the annuums hold the seeds right here in this range in the membrane that grows inside. Other varieties also do the same thing, but annuums store most of them right through here. So what we're going to do is just cut the top off. So once you have that top cut off, usually you can just roll this around in your hand to break up that membrane. So most of the time you're able to just roll this around in your hand to break the membrane, but this is a pretty fresh jalapeno and it's not completely ripe. So what you're gonna have to do is just take a knife in here and cut around the center. And then once you cut around that membrane, then you can just roll it back and forth in your hand. And if that also doesn't work, you can just cut it all the way open and scrape the seeds out. With things like bell peppers, it's going to be a lot easier. I think habaneros and other peppers that are chinense varieties are also going to be a little more difficult. This one's kind of giving me a little bit of issues, but that's okay. Just for educational purposes, I think we got enough. So as you can see, all of the seeds are down here in the bottom. And what you're going to want to do is just leave those in open air for about a week or two. And what I mean by that is just place it on the counter and let it sit there until they're completely dry. Every once in a while you can come through and shake them, and if they're not sticking to the bottom of the bowl, that's a good thing. And when they're completely dried out, you can put them in a bag and store them until you're ready to plant them next year. It's really that simple. So what you're also going to want to do if you're saving the seeds for a bunch of different peppers at the same time, because it would be a little bit more effective if you were to gather all of the peppers that you want to save seeds for and then just sit down at the same time and cut them all open. It would just save you a lot more time. But what you're going to want to make sure you do is label. I don't know how many times I've saved seeds and I go to plant them the next time and it is not at all what the label said. Well, there might not have been a label at all, but if there was a label, it might have been wrong. So make sure you're paying attention to what peppers you put in each bowl. You can also use like a plastic plate. Just make sure it's not paper towel. If it's paper towel, the seeds have a chance of germinating, and you don't really want them to germinate while you're ready to store them, because that's creating a new plant, not saving the seed. So overall, that's how you save the seeds. Pretty simple. Go out there and save as many seeds as you can for next year. So with that being said, I think that'll be the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, do that, because I know how to save seeds, and I have saved a bunch of a very rare type of seed called the KS White Tie. And if you want that KS White Tie, DM me on Instagram after you follow, and I'll send you a PO box, and all you have to do is send me a self-addressed envelope, and I'll send you back free seeds. And they're really rare. You can't buy them anywhere. So that's going to be a really cool opportunity if you want to take advantage of it. Also, follow me on TikTok. I'm at 90.5K, and I'm really trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. So let's make that possible. Go follow me on TikTok. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed, do that. I hope your plants are growing just as good as mine.